What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So feeling a little under the weather. It's that time of year, it's winter, and I have a cold, so it's awesome. Anyways, just want to let you know, if you're not following my Instagram, to follow my Instagram. It's at CK Wraps. So if you want to see detailed pictures of like corners, edges, and real close-up stuff, that'd be the place to go to see those details. I will do, obviously, instructional videos on YouTube, but again, I can't show everything on both. So today, the reason for this video is that I want to answer a question about that I see is very common amongst YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and everything else that I have as far as social media goes. Even other people's social media, I see comments. Why wrap a car as opposed to paint a car? So there's many different reasons on why you would want to do one or the other. So a few that come to my mind when it comes to actually painting a car is what you're doing like a full restoration. So that would be like, we take out the engine, we take out all the seats, we take out everything, strip the entire car down until it's a shell, and paint the whole shell. Okay, that is great when you're restoring like old cars, classic cars, muscle cars, vintage cars, anything along those lines. Great way to do it. Obviously, having a wrap done is not going to be the same thing. We're not going to wrap inside the engine bay. We're not usually going to wrap behind your taillights and all that kind of stuff. Like behind your taillights. So there is that, right? What it comes down to is, what are you after? This car behind me is white. It's brand new, pretty much, a year old. And if you painted this car, even if you took everything off the car, stripped it down completely bare, so it's just a shell, a painted white shell, and you painted this car, what you're doing is you're actually destroying the original sale value of this vehicle right here. You wouldn't want to do this to a Lamborghini. You wouldn't want to do this to a Honda Civic. So from anywhere from the least expensive car to the most expensive car, you would never want to repaint a car that's fairly new. And we're talking like anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 years. So, I mean, as opposed to if you get a little bit older, in vehicles, 15, 20 years, 30 years, okay, there needs to be some body work done, or there could be some rust, there could be other problems, dings, that kind of stuff. So again, painting is a great option in that case. Paint also has a lot of weight to it. An entire roll of vinyl, even chrome, on a car doesn't weigh any more than 2 to 3 pounds extra on top of the car, right? If we repaint that car, usually, for the most part, I've seen a lot of people, they do not strip the paint off completely. They might sand it, scuff it up, apply primer again, and then we're getting into, and I'm talking like 95% of paint jobs do not strip the paint off the car. Okay, so if you were to take that in and have that painted, first of all, it's probably going to cost you about, to strip everything down off the car and have the whole car repainted inside and out, anywhere around $15,000 to $20,000. A wrap, on the other hand, is going to protect the paint. Even if you wanted to wrap it in a satin white wrap, it's going to protect the paint for the time that it's on there for. You only leave it on for 3 years. You buy a brand new car, you peel the wrap off, oh, your paint's amazing. It's the condition that it was when you brought it in. When you paint a car, you're going to add on a lot of money, first of all. You're going to add on a lot of weight. So for those of you who questioned my comments in a previous video about paint adds about 100 pounds to a car, well, it does. The average gallon of paint weighs around 15 pounds, 14 to 15 pounds. And this is without adding in any additives or any special flakes or any pigments and things like that. So if we're going with black, okay, cool. But if we're starting to get into like complex colors, it's gonna weigh even more. So the average paint job requires about 7 gallons. So 7 times 14, 96, right? 96 or 98 pounds. Whatever, it's within a few pounds of 100 pounds. So I wasn't far off. And that's if we're going with basically black. So what you're looking at is you're looking at a base coat was 1 gallon. I can't remember. I'm gonna post a link in the corner here, and you guys are going to see exactly what it says about paint and how much it weighs per gallon. So you're adding on a lot of weight. That's like having an extra passenger in the car, depending on how big the vehicle is, how much you're painting, and stuff like that. So if you're not stripping off all the original paint, then you're going to be ending up with a lot of excess weight. If you strip off the original paint, then you're going to be in a better situation. But again, an aftermarket paint job is still going to weigh more than an original paint job. Look at BMWs, for example. I think their paint jobs are pretty lightweight. I'm sure that Lamborghini's paint job is pretty lightweight too. So when you take it to another shop, they don't have $100,000 machines that paint cars for them. It's nearly impossible to do at the same level, right? So this car that I'm wrapping right now, this Genesis, had its front and rear bumpers repainted, and they're actually horrible. So you also get that as a factor. There's dirt and debris inside. I'll post pictures there for you to see. So there's debris in the clear coat or in the paint itself. It's really dirty. It's actually really dirty. It's a dirty paint job. And what are you going to do about it? You know, they could paint it 10 times and it's probably still going to be the same thing. What you're doing is you're losing value when you repaint something, okay? It can increase the value, but that depends on the type of vehicle and the age of the vehicle, okay? But when it comes to wrapping is a superb alternative. And a lot of you are wondering why, does it last in the hot weather? Does it last in the cold weather? Being in Toronto, it lasts in hot and cold weather. We have summers that go up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius, and then we have winters that drop down to negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, so negative 20, 25 degrees Celsius, negative 30 degrees Celsius, and these wraps, they still last. So does a wrap last throughout all 4 seasons? Yep. I can say that it does. The only thing that affects the wrap is impacts. So impact will cause stone chips. It can cause the wrap to flake off a little bit. That depends. If it hit your paint at a high enough speed and it was cold enough out, and you're driving down the highway and a rock just hit your car on the highway, it's going to leave damage on your paint. Would you rather the wrap or your paint? Imagine you just got your car repainted and that happened. Again, it's much easier to replace that. So that's another thing. To repaint just a door, for example, we're going to want to blend in the fender, the rear quarter panel, and possibly the pillar and the lower rocker panel and the side skirt. So that's a lot of work. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time. It takes about 2 weeks, I think, for a paint job to dry mostly, I guess, unless you bake it. And I think you can accelerate the process then, but I still think you're looking at several days. And that's just for a door, let's say, and we have to repaint the whole side of the car to blend everything in. Now, if we scratch the door with a wrap on it, it's a matter of, I'm going to take the wrap off, 5 minutes, take the door handle off, trim piece, mirror if you need to, take the wrap off, and that's going to take you maybe 15-20 minutes. And then you can reapply the wrap. That's another 20 minutes or so, and then reapply everything another 5 to 10 minutes, and you're good to go. And you're in and out within 1 to 2 hours, pretty much. There is some vinyl out there that recommends that you keep it in a climatized environment for up to 48 hours. I believe that's Hexus. It is good to kind of let it sit there, but still, we're only looking at 2 days at most. But for a door, you wouldn't even really need to. So the amount of work that you'd need to put in to repaint something or to rewrap something, they don't even compare. So I'm not trying to actually compare vinyl wrap and paint here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you information about what vinyl wrap is and what paint is, and the difference between those two. Both will damage pretty much exactly the same. One is much easier to repair, being the vinyl. One is much less expensive, being the vinyl, and one is much lighter, being the vinyl. So why wouldn't you go with the vinyl wrap? I mean, if you're just looking to change the color of your car and protect it at the same time, it really makes a lot of sense. Like I said, if you're restoring something that's old, I would probably go with paint, just because I would want the entire thing painted. If I had the engine out and the whole drivetrain out and all that stuff, then yeah, I'm gonna probably repaint the car if I already have done all that work. But A wrap is a temporary solution. It is not meant to be permanent. So you're not meant to leave this on for the next 15, 20, 25 years. You should be leaving it on around 3 years, 2-3 years roughly. That's pretty average. Can you leave it on for 4, 5, 6, 7 years? Sure. Depends on the climate that you're in also, because if you leave it on for a long time, glue starts to break down, and that can become a little bit more of a mess when you go to remove it. That will happen with any brand, I assure you. So if you have your car sitting out in the Arizona desert for 5 years, and you go to remove that wrap, and that thing is like barely ever seen the shade, you're gonna have a hell of a time removing that wrap. Paint will give you that issue, of course, right? But paint will fade, vinyl will fade, paint will scratch, vinyl will scratch, paint will stone chip, vinyl will stone chip. It is all exactly the same, basically. All we're doing is we're putting a skin over top of the paint to help protect it and temporarily change its color. This is why we wrap cars. It's very popular. It's popular in a sense that, you know, if you get tired of your white car and it's perfectly good, well, why would you sell it? You're gonna go out there and buy a new one? No. It's perfectly good and you like it, then why would you buy a new one for the color? On top of that, a lot of manufacturers don't even offer the colors that we can get with vinyl. So you can get these outrageous colors that no manufacturer can paint for you no matter what. They just won't offer it to you. Maybe if you want to pay like 50 or 100 grand or whatever it is, they'll do it for you. I'm sure there's companies out there like, you know, Pagani and Koenigsegg and stuff like that that'll do it for you. But I know that a matte black paint job on a Lamborghini Huracan or Aventador, one of the two, is about $25,000 US. You could buy that car. Someone could buy that car in gloss black. I can wrap it in matte black. The gloss black paint job will be immaculate underneath, because if he brings it in within the first little while after he gets it, or she, then I can wrap that. The car will be immaculate when you go to remove the wrap 2 to 3 years down the road, and you have a brand new looking Lamborghini. Visual is what people see first off. We're changing the entire exterior aesthetic of the vehicle, right? And that's the whole idea. So as long as we're doing our job as far as that goes, then everyone's pleased. This is not, again, not meant to compete with paint, and it is not paint, it is a vinyl wrap. Are we trying to step up the game as far as finishes go and the depth of those finishes go? Of course. We want our finishes to look as deep and as rich as possible. We want them as smooth as possible. And we always want to be working on our corner game, because our corner game and our edges really makes that wrap look like a paint job. So in a sense, it is starting to compete at that level, right? In my opinion, there's no competition, there's no contest. It's vinyl all the way, and I am biased, but it is vinyl all the way, and there's no reason in the world whatsoever to repaint your car, especially when it's like within 4 or 5 years old. No reason at all. So for those of you who are saying you can't, or why wouldn't you just get that in the color that you wanted from the very beginning? Well, Porsche might not make sparkly, holographic, psychedelic, gold, flake, red, chrome. Who knows? Like, you know, I doubt you're going to get that from Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, or whatever. So it's dealerships just started doing Nardo Gray across the board now after Audi. You know, this became a popular paint job. It's available in vinyl, but it's available in a paint job now more across the board. But only one company had it. So if you bought a Mustang, good luck getting a Nardo Gray, because you couldn't. There are grays that are similar now. I don't think they are Nardo Gray for a Mustang still, but again, you can't get that, right? So wrap is a great solution to getting what you want for the time being, and just kind of maybe turning heads, whatever it is. Maybe you just like gray and you want a gray car. Maybe you want to break everyone's neck and you want a Rolls Gold car. Maybe you want gold chrome, whatever it might be. There's all kinds of colors out there to float anyone's boat. And there's pretty much no reason to not get a wrap if you're looking to change the color of your car. Do not paint your car. You can add on well over 100 pounds to the vehicle itself. On top of that, you're going to get dirt under there. That's never going to go away. If you get dirt under a wrap, you just peel the wrap off and it's gone. If you get dirt and paint, it's going to be there until someone sands that down and repaints it. But just my opinion, guys. Anyways, I want to answer that question for you. I hope the video was informative. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And don't forget to turn on post notifications. I appreciate you watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.